All right, Nigeria, and we are back on Deep Waters right here on Rhythm 93.7. If you are just joining us, where have you been? But hey, welcome. It's better late than never. We've been talking about the art of self care, how to nurture your mind, spirit, body, soul, and everything that has to do with you, basically. And before we went on the break, I was just breaking it down on what self care really is. I mean, it's very explanatory, just taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself because you actually matter. And I said that we have a guest on the show. I mean, it's typical, it's expected, so it's not breaking news that we have a wealth of knowledge right here to delve deep into this conversation. And our guest is a hospitality specialist and a certified integrative health coach. Her experience spans operations, including hotel reopening, consulting, and recreation management experience. She is a women's wellness coach, offering fitness and lifestyle coaching. She has a master's degree in international hospitality management from the University of Derby, a bachelor's degree in industrial relations and personnel management from the University of Lagos. Lola is affiliated with the Institute of Hospitality, Women in Business and Public Service, that is WIMBIZ, and the Women in Hospitality Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest is none other than Lola Udabo. You are welcome on the show. It's good to have you here. Nice, nice. I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you.
What's it called? Tiny locks, or is it
Called
tiny
my
twists?
hair.
Yeah.
It's called my hair.
Oh, it's called your. Oh, really?
Yes.
It really is your hair.
Yes.
Be serious.
Yes, it's all
You're
my...
joking.
No,
No extensions, nothing.
it's called my hair.
Oh, okay, okay. If you say so, that's good to know. You're welcome on the show
Thank
today.
you.
So, my first question to you is: have you always known that you will go into hospitality or wellness, or be, a wellness coach? Because some people figured it out at an early age, or some people, maybe due to some certain conditions, they then decide to take on fitness and wellness as a career. So, what's the story for you?
Okay, with hospitality, I stumbled into hospitality work-wise.
Okay.
University over, I was sitting at home
Yeah.
and, well, it was the first thing that was available.
Okay.
And I enjoyed doing it, and really that's all I've done for 20 years.
20 years.
And then with wellness, so, I look at wellness holistically. So the
Okay.
first thing is my parents were fit when we were young. So it was something that
so
we as
inspired
children already saw. So by the time I started working, probably about 2003,
Okay.
I started going to the gym.
Oh.
And my dad bought me my first set of weights then. So I started
Wow.
strength training probably 2003, 2004, thereabout.
Wow.
So I've always had weights. So, yes, there was cardio, but weight
Yeah.
training was already something
Something
that
that
I
was
was doing.
normal for
yes,
you.
exactly. And then I just carried on. So I might have taken breaks in between, like when I had kids and stuff
Okay.
like that. But
But then
other
still
than
the
that,
body now.
other than that, it was still there.
Wow, that's interesting.
And then I think the wake up call for me was, being a mother and just being lost in the routine of life where, you wake up, you're going to work, drop the
just
kids
moving in
off,
circles.
you have to cook, it was just what would I say? A
routine.
period of
Oh, okay.
me not being me prioritizing everybody
Every other
else
person but
or
you.
every other thing but myself. And one day I just woke up and said, what's going on here?
What's going on?
And from there I started making the
Conscious effort.
little changes. So for instance, with food also, growing up, a salad was normal at mine. That we would always eat vegetables in a casserole or something. So it was easy to tweak my meals.
Your meal, because it's already something
Yes, because it was
you're
already
used
part of it.
to.
So it's just doing it healthier. in bits and pieces. It doesn't mean that the occasional
Of course.
regular meal wouldn't come in, but the general thing is, just switching it up so that 99% of the time it's healthy, and sometimes it's 90%, sometimes 85%, but it's
85.
fine.
But it's constant.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
the most important thing.
Exactly.
All right, that's interesting. That's a really good win, because I look at myself. I mean, I try to live healthy,
Yeah.
but I know I'm not doing my optimal best. I know there is more that I can do. I take a lot of junks. I know. She look at the face she gave me. Oh my goodness! Don't judge me.
I'm not
Don't
judging.
judge
I
me.
really smiled. I'm
know,
not judging.
I take junks. Although I try to drink, I drink a lot of water. I try with that. Sometimes, not sometimes. It's been a while since I took a walk, because I told myself that it would be nice to take walks in the morning, at least an hour 30. Just to get your mind together for the day. But then the consistency is the problem. So before we go on now, what is your definition of self-care? For those that I think, okay, self-care, I take care of myself, I go to a restaurant and I have a good meal. To some people that is self-care. So let's break it down, with the mind, body and soul. What is self-care, looking at these three areas?
I think, first of all, self-care has to do with having a great relationship with yourself. So it's nourishing. You're treating yourself like you're your best friend, like you're your own baby. When you have a child, how you go out of your way, you take care of your child, or it could be your niece or nephew. When there are children around you, how you
do everything for them.
So self-care is you doing exactly that for yourself. So you're nourishing yourself holistically. So yes, like you said, it's your mind, your spirit, your body. It's everything to from the little practices that you go through every day. And the thing about self-care, so some people think it's a luxury, but it isn't. It's actually something that if we keep at it, it would sustain us for life. Helps you build healthier habits. You're happier. You're more productive, you're more focused, and all of that, So it's everything from what you're eating, how you're moving, how you're sleeping, when and how you're doing these things, who you're speaking with, what you're allowing into your space,
your mind.
So yes, your mind. So for instance, if you're watching the news every time, what are you getting from the news? Is it positive?
All bad news.
Yes.
Why?
Why
do we watch the news and everything is all negative? Like, can there be, series of positivity?
But what do you think travels fast?
Bad news, my sister.
Exactly. So that's what would be on the news.
That's what thrives on the media.
How about reducing
the
intake? How often are you watching it? Because that's important. Some people will say, oh, I didn't sleep well. But the question is, so what are you watching before you're sleeping? What are you doing? You need to be able to find out what the triggers are, and be able to minimize them, to cut them off. It's really about our habits.
Okay.
There's simple things that we as adults could do to help ourselves, and of course also pass it on to the children. So drinking water, some people think it's really difficult to drink water.
I know someone is listening to me right now, and I promise you, to drink water is an assignment.
Yes.
Sometimes we literally fight over the fact that oh God, drink what? It's water. If it was juice or something, you would down it.
No, but it's understandable, because what were you drinking growing up?
So it's
what
it's
but the thing is, it's how to switch it up. So some people could go cold turkey and not have the other drink and just start drinking water. But some people can't. So if you're one of those that can't, what you could do is, if you used to drink 5 bottles of Coke a week, could you reduce to 3?
To 3, exactly, because I was going to ask you,
could you reduce to 2? Could you reduce to 1? But you have to figure out what works for you. It doesn't work for everybody. I can wake up and just say, I'm not taking this, and I'll just stop.
You're that disciplined.
Yes, it's fine.
So that works for you. But is there like a general thing that can be done to help discipline ourselves? For instance, maybe get an accountability partner, or maybe a coach. For instance, you're a coach. So do you think these things that I mentioned can actually help the process or the transitioning easier for some?
Yes and no.
I like
so
this.
I'll start with the no.
Okay.
The no, because everything starts from your mind.
True.
So if you haven't made up your mind, that this is what I want to do, and told your mind why, why you need to do it, and how, even if you don't know it now, you're going to have to figure it out. So your mind is where you would create your long-term goal. So if you haven't, then what would happen is you run to a coach or a therapist, whatever it is, and you do it for a short period of time, and then life continues. So typical example is the gym. At the beginning of the year, the gyms are always full, and then towards
it's a social thing. People just do it to level up. It's not just because they want to keep fit.
But what I'm saying is, if you go to the gym,
to be at the gym.
By the end of January, the numbers have gone down.
Oh, definitely.
And then by February, it's in trickles. By March,
and then we know
dead
those
silence.
that are dedicated.
Yes, exactly, because they're short-term goals. Or it's my 40th, I want to look good. I'm going on vacation, summer body. All of that. So because those things are short-term goals, so it's not going to last. So even if such a person had a coach, because most of those people with their short-term goals get a coach, they go on a detox, they do all those things, and then sometimes they're even worse off than
they started. How can you possibly be worse off than you started?
It's your habits. It's your habits. Now you just
so you just
indulge.
Go back because you've missed
yes
the bad habits, and you just consume everything all at once.
Correct.
My goodness. Wow. Okay, so then you said it has the positive. You said yes.
Yes.
And
so
no.
the yes is if you've made up your mind that this is what you want long term. So if I say, for instance, I want to look and feel good in my 80s, in my 90s. Like I want to be good looking, good feeling, be able to sit down.
A lot of people
unsupported.
Look good but don't feel good.
Yes, exactly. Not the one that you're walking and everything is creaking and you need support.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
So I don't want any of all those things. So I'm investing
in your future.
In that, exactly.
Okay, so basically, so a lot of people are listening to us and they're thinking, okay, self-care. What really are the benefits? We understand that some of these things can help the immune system.
Correct.
For longevity and all of these things, but I want us to break it down into bits. What really are the benefits of self-care? Why are we doing this? Why are we all clamoring on this topic?
So I think first of all, when you say self-care, we've said have a relationship with yourself. So that means every now and then, you are taking a step back to analyze where you are and where you're going. So that's you being mindful. And once you are mindful, you're actively pausing to see what is going on. You take a breath. That pause could allow you to think about where you are and how you could move forward positively versus you just rushing into something. Does it happen to you that sometimes you were rushing to do something and then all of a sudden you had to stop?
Oh yeah.
You were about to run down the stairs and you stopped.
You take a break.
When you stop, what happens? Maybe you could have fallen if you kept on running, so that's part of being mindful. Mindful of the news, mindful of the people around you. So if you have people with negative energy around you, how can you
could fall into depression?
How can you get rid of that energy? You might not be able to get rid of them immediately. It could just be maybe you could reduce communication with them, or you could learn how to respond in a way that puts them in a place where they understand that you don't need exactly. So you're setting boundaries because that's important for you. It's really about your well-being. I want to be happy, I want to be relaxed. So sleep, let's talk about sleep. So if you sleep as an adult 7 to 8 hours
because people say sleeping 7 to 8 hours is far-fetched now. You hear motivational speakers say anybody that sleeps I don't like, why?
I can't function on less than that.
Why?
Like
now 5 hours, 4 hours seem to be like the standard. And motivational speakers are pushing that narrative.
How productive are these people? I think that's what needs to be analyzed, because if you're unproductive, then why are you awake?
Because if you're awake all through the night, right? I understand that, because the question is, I believe strongly in, it's not what you do while it's not the amount of hours
Yeah.
that you sleep for, it's what
It's
you
the-
do while
yes.
you're awake.
So it's the
How
quality.
productive
Yes,
are
the
you when
quality
you're
of
awake?
what you're
Because
doing.
if I sleep for 5 hours and for the remaining 19 hours I'm really not productive, I'm probably just on social media, or I'm moving from one pillar to post, searching for the next gossip.
Exactly.
I'm really not productive, but hey, I slept 4 hours.
So it's really, what are you prioritizing? Prioritize rest. So rest and relaxation is not about sleep.
Yeah.
It could be you doing something that you love doing, painting, going for a leisurely walk. This is not exercise, just your
Yeah.
leisurely walk. It could be going to hang out with a friend, going out for lunch with a friend, and lunch could just be at your friend's house. It's not about,
Yeah.
always
It's not about
spending money.
glamour.
A hobby you like, cooking, reading, whatever it is, that will just give you that peace and also give you joy, because it's because
you need to be excited about
yes,
it.
you need joy in your life, and then also the connections that you have.
that you have.
So when you have these connections, how are they supporting you as a person? You would have different buckets of people for different
Yes.
things. So a support system is great
That's
for
amazing.
your well-being,
That's amazing.
because
So, okay, go on.
so for instance, as either a boss, a parent, you have people helping you to do stuff. You can delegate.
Yeah,
Delegation gives you
delegate
that opportunity
responsibility.
to be able to
Focus
do
on
things. So take
yourself.
for instance here, where you can get a driver to do stuff for you. You can get a maid to help, even if the person is not a living maid, and they can come.
Do what
Somebody
they have
can
to
come
do
and help
and
you clean
leave.
your space, so you
True
come
that.
back into a nice clean space.
You can think properly.
Exactly.
You
so
can even rest properly.
exactly. So, but that has happened because you delegated. But imagine if you've come from a busy day and then that's something that you also have to do. The likelihood is you're not going to do it,
Yeah.
and you probably not be the best
A
person
lot
to
of
be
people
around
just think
after
they're
a while.
Voltrons. A lot of people they don't like to delegate because they have that, I don't know if it's a thing with cholerics, but they just like to handle everything. No one
It's
else can do it as
difficult.
good as I can. So they like to monitor, I want to know what you're doing. I know why. Like, just relax. It's not that
So it's
difficult.
a lack of trust.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been,
If you just feel no one else can make it happen,
yes,
but
and
you.
it's also how you were raised. So if you were raised by people who don't trust others, you would be exactly like that. And except you are self-conscious, you would think that your behavior is normal.
True. And yes, except you also don't have people around you to tell you the truth.
If you allow them.
If you allow them. Because, someone will tell you the truth before you know it. You give them a piece of your mind.
Correct.
And, it's crazy. But thank you. I'm loving your contribution on the show. But we have, messages here. And I would like for you to give your opinion on them as well. This one says, drink water. Water is not sweet now. There's a wide variety of drinks to pick from. What is the optimal amount of water to take daily?
Okay. So I think medically they would say about 2 liters of water.
2 liters of water.
But with this Lagos
But is that
heat,
about 8 cups? No, that can't be 8 cups. That should
I
be
think
like,
it depends on the cup.
it depends.
But with the Lagos heat, for instance, you cannot be drinking 2 liters of water.
That you have to take
It's
more.
too hot.
Meaning you have to take more.
Yes. I mean, let's look at it that what's the body made of? The body is mostly made up of water. So that means your body needs the water. So it's not because it sounds right medically or anything, but you just need to keep replacing water. So you're sweating a lot. It's water as well. So you do need to be able to refill that water. And when you have an injury, what gushes out of your body? Blood. But what's blood? It's red. What is red water in quotes, if you know what I mean. So
don't leave me.
so you really need water. And to prove that water is pretty much life, if you were fasting and you drank water, you'd actually feel a bit of energy, so it tells you that something. Most times when you're dizzy, you're coughing, you drink water. If you're coughing, you don't eat food now.
Even
and
while
you don't
you're
drink.
Ill,
you don't. Yes, when you're ill,
you
drink
water
water
to flush out the unnecessary things from your system.
So water is life. Yes, it seems tasteless because of habit of being
habits
it's
is-
habit, drinking all
Condition
these
your
other
tongue to
things.
sweet things.
Yes, but when you now start to look at the health side of things, understanding what sugar does in the body, then you start. I mean, if you're truthful to yourself, then you start being conscious about taking all those things.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much. Do not forget that this is Reading 93.7. If you're just joining us, the program is Deep Waters. My name is Titi Tankpe, and we've been talking self-care, how to nurture your mind, spirit, body, and everything that has to do with you, basically. And we have a guest here on the show. Her name is Tola Udabo, and she's been sharing, pretty nice nuggets on, how to take care of yourself, how to prioritize your health, because you matter. Do not forget to be a part of this conversation. The number to call is 0705 993 6937. The WhatsApp line is 0812 806 2337. I would read another message here, and this one says, I have discovered that eating healthy is more expensive than eating regular stuff. Maybe the government isn't big on wellness. Let's just be eating whatever we see now. Thank you. This is Samuel from VI. So
Okay.
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts
So
on
everybody, it's
this? Eating
relative.
healthy is expensive. How true is this statement?
It's two ways.
Okay.
So eating healthy, if you're trying to eat imported produce, will be very
More
expensive. Eating healthy is now, even the cheap things are not cheap anymore.
And then, you can say that again.
Ugu of 500, you used to be 500 before, is now probably like 1,000. So of
1,000 or
course,
more.
the money has gone up. And I use Ugu because it's very nutritious. It's locally available. It's not high end. We're not mentioning kale or any of the green veggies that are imported. So when they say expensive, I would also ask that what would you rather spend money on? Your an expensive hospital bill or healthy food.
Or healthy food.
Healthy food
I
is
like
cheaper.
that angle.
It's always cheaper.
And at the end of the day, if you realize, or if you sum up the monies that you spent on, you buy gala in the traffic. Pardon me. You buy that junk in traffic. You go to the restaurant. You feel peckish. You buy all the snacks. By the time you take an inventory of all the amount you
spent a
spent
lot.
on unnecessary things, you realize that you could have just decided to go the healthy route.
Correct. Correct, exactly. It's not and when people think healthy, I think they overthink it.
They overthink
Healthy
it.
for us, because we already have a lot of vegetables locally, should be based on what's available locally. So okra is healthy. Eat a lot of it. Like, do you understand? There's ugu, there's your tete, all the different green leafy vegetables. So you can, incorporate that into your meals by increasing those ones and reducing.
Because we're not asking you all to stop.
Yes.
All of these things. No, we're just saying have a healthy balance.
Yes.
Yeah, and let there be a higher percentage
Of your fruits and vegetables,
Fruits
and
and
then you're
vegetables.
reducing the big processed
Interesting.
carbs and all of that.
All right. So this question or this feedback says, I read it before you came on, but I would just like for you to read it again so you can give your thoughts. Isn't it true that most Nigerians are walking about with some sort of illness or the other? How do you achieve self-care in a place where almost everything is designed to choke you?
So, self-care is something that's conscious. You just have to be conscious about it. And with self-care, you're going to have to learn to set boundaries. So boundaries could be not waking up to the news so that you stay sane. Boundaries
You mentioned that earlier.
could be not picking up the phone when that certain friend
Oh
calls.
yeah, it's okay to it's okay to turn off your phone.
Correct.
Nothing will happen. I promise you.
You know.
Nobody will die.
Yeah, so
Because
I understand.
people feel, they have that savior mentality.
Yes.
Oh, my boss. And I don't even understand why, some bosses just infringe into people's weekends.
They don't know any better. And unfortunately, the people around them encourage it. It's
Like,
so it would
no, you
it
can't
would
talk
always
to me
happen.
after work. I understand some businesses run 24 hours. There are exceptional, there are exceptions to the cases, right? There's some exceptional work that has to do with, working in a media house, for instance. You got to work weekends. Do you understand? There's no break for the media house. There's nothing like holidays. But if you work in a working system or a structure where your weekend should
Be your
actually be
weekend.
yours. Why
Correct.
don't I have it? Why are you sending me an email in the middle of the night? And then
Why are you reading your
why are
email
you? Thank you.
in the
I was
middle of the
going there.
night?
Why you too? They put a gun to your head that you have, because what if you were sleeping? You won't respond from your dream. So I tell myself, assume you're sleeping. I can see it, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. Nothing is going to happen because I matter. And whatever you start is what continues.
Correct.
Whatever you start is what continues. So, okay, speaking on parents, how you're a parent, how some parents don't know how to say no. We realize that most people that get stressed, if you look at, the hierarchy of things or the world holistically, we find out that parents are the most stressed humans because they're working, they've got deliverables everywhere. Church, work, family, husband, kids. So how can we encourage parents to start saying no to their kids? I don't know how to coin it, but how can
What is it? Is it about saying no, or you figuring out how to prioritize self-care?
okay, but in prioritizing self-care, you realize that your kid wants something, and parents just feel the need to dance to their kids' tune, because now these days I'm hearing, you don't tell children no because it affects their mind.
So-
Different.
With that, not telling children no, I think what they're trying to say is not is don't say no, but look for another way to phrase it.
The statement no.
Yes.
But what is wrong with saying no? Why can't did they tell us no? Did we die? Are we not here where we are today doing well with our lives? What's all this? These people should stop.
So, well, the thing is, I say, in everything, use common sense.
Thank you very much. I'm
Don't
loving this.
let it be that, we say what's happening in the new age. There has to be a balance. I don't like balance because really there's never balance. Things keep moving. It's never static. So
never
I'm not
static.
sure balance is the right word, but for lack of a better word, let's
Yeah.
use balance. So at each point in time, you're able to evaluate and go with what works best for you. So with regards to kids and children and saying no, I think the first thing, like I said, is figure out your self-care pattern. Create a routine for you. So I'll use myself. When my kids were younger, I say a few years ago, what I used to do was I would be up, I'll do my journaling and whatever it is. Initially I'll just pray.
Okay.
And by 5:40, 5:30, 5:40, I'm out. Exercise, and I'm back in time for them to go to school. And what had happened was I had a maid who I had entrusted to make sure they wake up.
Yeah.
We've sorted out breakfast the night before.
All right, you know what? Let's hold that thought. We'll go
Okay.
on a short break. So when we are back, we can get right into this conversation.
Okay.
Please do not go nowhere. Don't forget, this is self-care, and this is Rhythm 93.7. We will be back after this break. All right, Lagos, Nigeria, and we are back. We are back right here on your favorite dial, Reading 93.7, and this, of course, is Deep Waters. And today we are prioritizing your health because your health matters, right? We're talking about self-care, right? How to nurture your mind, spirit, and your body, because we find out that these days, people are just walking robots. They're just moving, trying to deliver, trying to meet that deadline, trying to provide for their families, and forgetting that they exist. And of course, we have Coach Lola right here in the studio. It's good to have you. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, your knowledge. It's amazing. I love it. And if you're just joining, you have missed a lot, but hey, we're still here, and we'll still, cover some questions before we call it a day. So we were having a conversation before we went on the break. Can you continue on that?
Yes, so I was saying, I had created a routine so that at least before I went to work, before everybody went to school, I had me time. So prayer and exercise, and then come back home. The kids get ready for school. They go off to school. I take a shower and I go to work.
Okay.
And what I would have done would have been to prep my meal from the day before.
Okay.
So it'd be a smoothie. My smoothie's in the freezer. Take it out when I'm going to exercise, so that by the time I jump out of the shower on my way to work, or when I get right to work, I can have my smoothie. And then I've packed my snack, which is a fruit. I've packed my main meal, and so those I just put in the fridge at work, and I was okay. So you just have to figure out how to...
And you're not even stressed half of the time.
Yes.
Because you have a routine that works.
I've planned that out, so it's fine.
Routine is key, guys. Basically,
it is for
find
everybody.
out a routine that works for you, because if you're trying to just juggle everything all at the same time, it will become too crowded. Like, there's a lot. It's okay to time things.
Yes.
It's okay to set timetables.
Yes.
Know what works for you, and that really applies. Do not forget that we would like to have your thoughts on this conversation, right? The phone number to call is 0705 993 6937. Let me take that again. 0705 993 6937. To reach us on WhatsApp, the number is 0812 806 2337. 0812 806 2337. More messages rolling in. This person says, I will be spending my weekend with my family. Play Me Plenty by Burna Boy. This is Samuel from Ikotun. Welcome. Thank you, Samuel, for your contribution. He says he will be spending his weekend with his family. I think he's just trying to say, that is how I have chosen to take care of myself this weekend. And that's okay. That's okay. This person says here that, what if I'm just naturally lazy? God, you guys are great.
Meaning what? Is that what?
No, that's not all.
Okay.
I have never been to the gym, although I admire people who go there. Isn't there another way to stay fit? This is Ene Obong from Lekki. So she's asking, must it be gym? Is there not another way out? But there's no shortcuts to this thing, just so you know. But go on,
But it's
please.
not necessarily the gym. For
Okay.
instance, I do not go to the gym.
You
But I work out
Okay.
at home.
Oh, you work out at
I go
home.
to a fitness studio on Saturdays now. Just that's the only day I do
That you
anything
step
out of my
your-
space. But
Well,
if
isn't
not,
that because you have a strong mind? You're very...
yes. So that is not for
Let me
everybody.
tell you something. During COVID, I told myself that I'm going to stay fit. My sister, I started doing exercises in the house. I promise you, I did last 2 weeks. And I
So
was
you probably
dedicated. I
needed
wanted
the
to,
company.
but I just needed to translate my, my dedication to the physical. I had it locked down in my mind.
And so you
Maybe-
probably needed the company. You needed an accountability partner.
partner,
Somebody to keep you moving. If you
So
know what I
aside
mean.
working out in your house, aside working out generally,
So
are there other things to do to stay fit?
So I think first of all, one thing I tell people a lot of is that exercise is movement, and really the body was created to move.
Yeah.
So movement could just be you walking.
Okay.
Doesn't have to start off as a fast-paced walk, but just that effort of moving is what we're talking about. And so movement should be something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy dancing, please dance. If you enjoy swimming,
Please swim.
swim. Whatever you enjoy doing that, you can flow with. That's what you need to do. You don't need to go to the gym to lift weights or run on the treadmill.
True that.
None of all of that. Just find out what
Works
you
for
enjoy
you.
doing and stick to it.
And stick
That's
to
it.
it.
That's the way to build consistency, to make it sustainable at all. If not, you'll
crash because
Yes.
you're just following the bandwagon. This is what everybody is
correct.
doing.
Remember, the race is yours alone.
alone.
That's it.
All right. So the last question we will take on WhatsApp right here. This one says, setting a routine, eating healthy. All this sound like self-care is for a reserved few. We have people waking up by 4 a.m. to get to work and return by 11 p.m. at least. Where and how can I take care of me? This is Ray from Egbeda.
Okay, so there are little things you could do. Get up every 30 minutes, walk around, just move your body
move your body.
during the day. And like I said also, the food. if you're buying a foriro, for instance, from a booker, let the greens be crunchy, not those
not the
dead.
ones they've cooked and cooked. So
Exactly.
just basically make yours.
Yes, if you
'Cause
can
it's
make yours,
healthier
make
to make
yours. If
yours,
you're
yeah.
buying, be conscious of where you're buying, from. That the leaves still have life.
Yeah.
It's not soaked in oil or any of all those type of things. Just being conscious of the quality of the
Of
food
what you're taking
that you're
in.
eating, and then drink water. I mean, that I don't think that's hard.
And I think it's pretty basic, because even in as much as people are leaving the houses early and getting home late, you have the weekends. You have good friends around you.
And so on the weekend, please sleep.
Yeah, that's
Sleep.
where I'm going.
If that's all you need to do on the weekend, sleep.
Is very
as long as you're
therapeutic.
not the celebrant, the bride, the groom, or any of those things, just enjoy that weekend. Sleeping. It's a way to
to vitalize
just
yourself.
to take care of yourself. Just sleep.
Please don't underestimate the power of having good sleep. Like we mentioned earlier, it's okay to turn off your phone. Turn off your phone if you know you're going to get disturbed by work or family or whatever. Turn off your phone, just sleep, and you would be good. If visiting your friends, positive thinking friends, would be what you need to get yourself going, do that. It's healthy. So it's an accumulation of different things. Take a walk, go to the beach, let good breeze blow you. That's part of the things you can do.
Just sit there, and then you can send your kids somewhere for the day, so that you're just sitting down by yourself at home.
Person, because
of course,
these days,
your parents, your siblings, somebody, let them go out, and then you are home by yourself. Because sometimes, you need that me time. Only me. I don't want to talk to any other person. Don't want to see anybody. It's not selfish.
And
it's fine.
Spend that money on yourself.
Correct.
A lot of people feel guilty, spending money on themselves. Go on that trip if you can afford it, because I say something jokingly, but it's the truth. If Jesus should come today now, all your savings
gone.
Correct. I mean, it's important to save, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's okay to take that money. I mean, not all of it. Take that money and, just take care of yourself. Go on that trip, go on that spa date, go to the movies, just take care of yourself, and the world would continue to move. So thank you, everybody, for being a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Lola. I had a good time. This was very insightful. So coming up your way again next week, Debrah would be here on Monday and Wednesday, and I would be here on Friday doing this as always. Thank you for being a part of this, and have a beautiful weekend. Do not forget, take care of yourself. Your body will thank you.